Artificial intelligence is everywhere these days. Just the thought of what it can do is starting to scare some people, and maybe for good reason.
AI!
The danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads, by a lot.
Are you afraid of AI?
Yes.
I believe it will be technology that ends humanity.
AI like Dolly Mini showed the world that AI has the potential to get creative, making pieces of art that are not only just plain good, you can't even tell that it was a computer that made them. Voice mimicking and deepfake software also began getting incredibly advanced, and as much as I love listening to the dialogue between Joe Biden, Elon Musk, and Ben Shapiro as they play Call of Duty together,
of course, the puppy whuppy bing bong.
Yeah, I understand that the technology that makes this possible in the first place could have some darker repercussions down the line when used in other contexts. Introduce ChatGPT. Released in late 2022 and updated to be much more useful in 2023, this chatbot gave a whole new outlook on what AI could do. Pretty quickly, this tool found its way into the hands of students who are using it to cheat on homework and exams. It also found its way into the workforce, where employers recognized the tool could be used to minimize their staff and cut some costs. It seemed like nothing was off limits for what AI can't do and who it couldn't replace. However, despite its popularity, I don't think it's nearly as good as it seems. But there's no reason to speculate, so let's put it to the test. Now, when most people think of the future, specifically robotics, I think most people think of robotic arms. We've seen them in the movies for years now, and they actually have some practical purposes in today's world. They move packages on assembly lines, do things for the military, and even some other applications. But that's the catch, right? We are the ones telling them what they're supposed to do. We do the math telling them how they're supposed to move, aka inverse kinematics. And then afterwards, we use all that mathematical nonsense to write code to actually make the robots do what we want them to. But what if we weren't the ones to do that? What if instead we gave that job to AI and put ChatGPT to the ultimate test? We'll put the AI into the robotic arm. One prompt later, and I was directed to a website for building one that already had some of the 3D renders of the parts necessary. Okay, AI, feels a little lazy there, but hey, it saves me some work, so I'm not gonna complain. So I threw those onto my printer and ordered some servos from Amazon to get the hardware side of things on its way. While those are getting here, we have the new problem of figuring out what we want the arm to exactly do. I've seen a lot of creators do some pretty crazy stuff with robotics over the years, but some of these just seem like a little bit of a stretch. At least for our tests in this video. I also checked Reddit, but they all pretty much had the same suggestion for what you're supposed to do with a robotic arm, and I'm pretty sure I can't show that on YouTube. So I went back to ChatGPT, and for whatever reason, it was really obsessed about making the arm do chores, but that's so boring. So after having the arm play some Valorant, I decided to take the advice of some of my teammates and have the robot kill itself. Now we'll start simple. The robotic arm will go here with all the wiring for the power and the programming going behind it. But I'll also wire a kill switch connected to the robot's own power supply across from the robot. And that kill switch will take the form as a wire between a couple of poles. This would look pretty boring, so to entice the robot, I'll 3D print an oil drum and run some wires through it. When it grabs the oil drum and pulls it close, zap zap, the wires disconnect, and it dies. By its own hand, no less. And so I started work right away. Wait. No, I didn't. Sorry about that. I mean, what can I say? Sometimes life gets busy and dodging the repercussions of this. Did I get that? And doing this means I kind of had to lay low. In fact, 3 months has even passed since I filmed that last part. I got a new desk too, which is cool. But anyway, back to the build. We'll start with clearing off the desk. Wood. 3D printed pieces. Electronics to taste. Then we throw the arm together. A little bit here. A little bit there, a little bit even here, and bam, now we have an arm. Next, we attach it to the base. We also gotta mount the poles and put the wires in place that we can run the oil drum through. Which reminds me, it's time to acquire oil. And we check to make sure the arm can actually reach the oil. Finally, let's set up the power supply. I'm just gonna use this anchor power brick and cut a cable I already have. Then we just gotta get the wiring right and plug it in. And bam! We're ready to go. Let's get testing. After asking a test question to make sure that ChatGPT was working, I started by asking it to simply write code to kill itself, but it refused.
Okay.
So I guess I'll have to be a little more specific and just give it the action that it needs to do. Write a script that grabs something and pulls it back. Now, if I asked a human to do this, they'd already know what I'm talking about, but how does ChatGPT fare? We take that generated code, throw it into the Arduino IDE, and upload it to the robot, but, well, yeah, nothing really. All right, more specific we go. This time I told it that we were using a 6 degree of freedom robotic arm, but I left the task the same. After thanking it, we tested it out again, but the hand just kinda did that? So I tried it again. I gave it instructions about what pins we were using on the Arduino, and look at that, now everything is moving.
Okay, that's new.
Yeah, but it's definitely not moving correctly. So there was some tweaking to do. And although it was clear to me what was wrong with the code ChatGPT was generating, it failed so many times. It would do this whole arm extension thing and then just bend backwards.
Okay, we're done with that.
It tried a few other things that just straight up broke the arm. It tried adding a homing system with delays.
What am I watching?
Nope. But finally, it got really close, or at least close to halfway. See, it was actually performing the correct grabbing motion, though its accuracy was a tad off. The problem, though, was that when it retracted, it would just undo those same extending steps. That meant that it wasn't actually going to be pulling anything back to itself. It was basically just giving the oil can like a light squeeze before running away. After some more updates, it would stop letting go of the oil can, but it did have other problems. A lot of them. Among other things, sometimes the hand would just kind of move randomly once it picked something up, and there were a lot of issues like this. But finally, after not one, not two, but 19 different attempts, and some very specific instructions, we threw the generated code into the IDE and tested it.
In 3, 2, 1.
We did it! Man had conquered machine using machine, and I knew people would be astounded by such a legendary conclusion. The robot did exactly what it was supposed to. What more could I ask for? Machines are pretty dumb, and aside from having some fun, the point of this video is sort of a demonstration on how specific you gotta be for even a project as simple as this one. It's about the journey, not the destination. We made some friends along the way, and we got a robot to kill itself. Pretty sweet if you ask me.
I don't know, I just wish it did more, you know? Like, it had been 7 months since my last upload. That's a really long time, and I know AI is in the news and everything, and it's really relevant of a topic, but I just wish my return was more grand, you know? You're right. AI is stupid. I mean, it cheated and used pre-made materials it found online, and it still barely worked. I can do so much better, and honestly, I think I have an idea already.